On the right hand side, folks, you'll notice all these water droplets coming from that escarpment. Can everybody see that?
Yeah.
Well, that's known as your raining rock. Now all that water that you see there is known as seepage water. That water seeps through the sandstone about 50 metres in depth. Because there's a swamp on top of the escarpment, it's known as your Dunlop Swamp. Now all those water droplets that you see there is 100% pure fresh water, folks. Because the escarpment itself acts like a sponge. Soaks up all the water, then breaks it down, kind of like a filter. So you'd be able to drink that water right now. But also if you look on the right hand side, you'll see all this beautiful green vegetation, as opposed to what you'd see on the left. That's because the Dunlop Swamp is consistently feeding the right side. Wherever you find consistent water flow, you're going to have beautiful green vegetation like you see there. Now I'll show you a better example of seepage water up further. Now if you also look on the right hand side, you'll see this huge tree sticking out of the side of the escarpment with greyish bark. Now that's known as your chalky apple tree. Botanically, Syzygian forte. Apples grow on that tree, much favoured bush tucker for the giant people, but they have a chalky taste to it. That doesn't sound so pleasant, does it? So what the giant people do is they'll collect the apples, put it into their dilly bags. If you don't know what a dilly bag is, it's a small man's carry bag. Tie it to a tree, let the dilly bag sit in the water for about 2 to 3 days. What that does is it takes the chalky texture out of the apple completely, softens the fruit, puts more flavour into the fruit. So after the 2 to 3 days, it's actually edible now for the giant people. Now nutritionists say eating one of those chalky apples is equivalent to eating 5 oranges in vitamin C. Very healthy, that one though. The only problem with that one is though, make sure you don't eat too much, because no matter how fast you are, folks, you'll never make it in time. Now if you look up to that first branch,